For my last job, to try and be popular and get people to like me, I bought a Star Wars handbag and an Avengers mug. On my covering letter, I wrote, I have many hobbits instead of many hobbies. Genuinely, by accident. I still got the job. I wear an I Am Groot t-shirt and an Attack on Titan jacket like it's actually still cool, forgetting that I'm crusading towards the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages? Wait, going back in time now. Fucking hell, keen, aren't I, to experience everything. And occasionally, on emails, I sign off with Hail Hydra. So, it's a bit weird, isn't it? My very first email address when I was younger was Magic Girl Forever, with the number 4, EVA, so you know I got bullied in school. I think I was also the only person for about 20 years who borrowed the Dungeons and Dragons manual from the library. Sometimes when I'm a little bit nervous, I go to my happy place and I wonder why people are staring at me funny on public transport. It's possibly because I'm rocking backwards and forwards going, I'm a happy little hobbit, I'm a happy little hobbit with hairy feet. The last bit's not a joke, it's just a fact. Now, that's something I've been saying for quite a long time, and then watching Drag Race UK, the magnificent Bimini Bon Boulash used that same line. So I thought I'd include it in the show because it's another fandom to tick off, you know. It's all good, and it is funny. I've written the words "don't say Twilight" on here, and I'm not actually sure why I've done that. So when you are a bit obsessed, when you do hyperfixate on things like I do, it does kind of seep into every part of your life. Such as when opening a diary to write, I say Captain's Log. Yes, I write a diary, I got bullied in school. And if I want something or want to pick something up that's quite heavy, I might just say Wingardium Leviosa, pretending that I'm in some other world. And when my husband and I talk about hypothetical children that we might have, we talk about the names we'd like to give them. We quite like the name Logan. And then we were thinking, oh, Logan, Xavier. Oh, I can't do that. We can't give him an X-Men name. Or our other favourite is, oh, hello, my name's Emma, this is my husband Cameron, and this is our son, Thor 2, The Dark World. Something else that I wanted to be when I was a child, oh sorry, the tights were doing the thing, crab step. Crab step. Something else I wanted to be when I was younger, well, I'm going to sing you a little song that I think some of you might know. Fair warning, I can't sing, but you know, why not have a go and see if any of you know this. I abbreviate it because I can't sing. It's a bit distracting, isn't it? I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. That's probably enough of that. The thing is, I actually really wanted to do some scat singing for this show. And I've been practicing it for ages at home, and it's just awful. And in this show yesterday, I did do a little bit, and it's really bad. Would anyone like to hear it? Yeah. I can't scat sing either, is probably what we need to preference that with. Zabba-da-dee-da, zabba-doo-day, zabba-doo-day, da-bee-ba-da-dow, a Pikachu. D&D, this and that, this and that, this and that, D&D, I am the Dungeon Master. I don't think I'm ever going to get a career singing, am I? I probably won't apply for the X Factor, to be honest. So the thing that I love about comic books is that they really give you something to marvel at. There's one or two that you could describe as a dark horse of the industry. The odd titan. Sorry, these puns are really terrible. They take a while to thaw out. I didn't want to do any puns that were too much. You know, we are in a basement, so I just wanted to keep it kind of low-key. They're pretty old puns. You could say 2000 AD. Some people sat here are like probably thinking, what the fuck's going on? What Wakanda gig is this? Right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that, isn't it? So there's certain thoughts, like I said, when you're a fan of something, it does have a tendency to overtake my life. So whether you're playing video games or singing along to musicals, books, anything, it can become a bit distracting. And so when I can't sleep at night, there are certain thoughts that plague me. Plague's not a good word to use at the moment, really, is it? What would happen if Bruce Banner turned into the Incredible Hulk during sex? If you're wondering, you're not the only one. I wrote an entire piece of fan fiction about this. I titled it Unprecedented Growth, which could also go for the title of a story about Dominic Cummings' Moes during Lockdown 1. That's funnier if you say it right the first time, isn't it? Any Game of Thrones fans? So in Game of Thrones, what did Podrick Payne do to those women, and where can we get some? I highly suspect as well, after 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, that Jon Snow did know something after all. In Final Fantasy, so I love the Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy VII was such an escapism for me as a child, and then Final Fantasy XII came out when I was in college. As a child. God, are we in? Yeah, we're actually in D&D. What was I saying? Oh, Final Fantasy. But after that many games, you'd think when they were developing the next one that they would have learnt by now that this isn't going to be the Final Fantasy. There's always going to be another one. Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All always reminded me a bit of STIs. And where I live in Portsmouth, if you play Pokemon Go at night in some of the parks and dogging sites, there's a chance you can do both. Collect. And it's nice, very nice. In the TV show Sons of Anarchy, the town's called Charming, and the irony obviously is just so blatantly obvious it hurts. But in a town so full of murder, there's constantly people dying, and there's problems with drugs. It reminds me a bit of Albert Square in EastEnders. If you lived there, you'd just move. SpongeBob SquarePants. He lives in a pineapple under the sea. Is the whole show filmed? Well, not filmed, I mean, obviously it's a cartoon, but is the whole film, the whole show, is it set over a few days, or does he constantly move house? Because he lives in a pineapple under the sea and it would decompose. It's not very factually accurate for children, is it? But there is one thing they got right, and that's that squids really are pretentious arseholes. And incredibly good at fingering. The clarinet, you perverts. I'm going to play a bit of clarinet for you. I've just got to warm it up. Fun story, when I did this show yesterday, I went to do the SpongeBob bit and I realised my clarinet was still in my suitcase in multiple pieces and I hadn't prepared at all. As I bent down and I let the audience, just ease it out, as I let the audience talk amongst themselves, as I put my clarinet together, I stood up and my shoe broke. So you guys missed a real treat of a show where all the props broke yesterday. So today we're a little bit more organised, so bear with. You've just got to lube it up a little bit. Yeah. It's a bit like I'm taking my temperature to check for COVID, really, isn't it? Right, here we go. There's no way of preparing this beforehand, because if you don't get it nice and wet, get it nice and ready, tease it, it won't sound very good, so I couldn't do it before the show. So I played it dry yesterday. No one likes to go in dry, do they? Right, now if anybody's wondering why are you playing, I don't really need this, do I? Why are you playing the clarinet in this show? As I said, it's a comedy show, but it's also a few other things, a celebration of all the things that I love. And I think it's a great way to celebrate what I love, and I'll get into this a little bit later on in the more serious bit of the show, where I feel like I've come a long way thanks to fandom and having a lot more courage than I used to. So until yesterday, I hadn't played the clarinet in public for about 15 years. So this is like nearly a world first, sort of. I can't see because the lights are too blinding. Hang on. Oh yeah, I will have to do this. God, the lights are very difficult. People who got annoyed that after years Doctor Who is going to be played by a woman